Hi! Happy Tuesday. I'm back in Heidelberg, as you can see, but not for long. Tomorrow I peace out again for a 10-day trip through Romania, Budapest, and Prague. So next week's video will be somewhere else fun. And because I have yet to clean or pack or book hostels, I'm going to be lazy and do this video in English. Sorry, next week's will probably also be in English, just because I'll be somewhere. But as soon as I'm settled in again and have space to breathe, I'll make one in German. Promise. Alright, this week's theme is literature, or I suppose to give it the broader definition of what we're doing, talking about a piece of literature, a poem, whatever, something that you had to read for a language class that influenced you, or why you loved it or hated it, and why. I kind of strong-armed the others into this one, because literature is what I'm really excited about, what I really enjoy, what I eventually want to use as a springboard for any doctor work I will write in the future. So I'm gonna get pretty passionate about this one. So I'm going to talk about actually the reason I fell in love with the German language. Back in 10th grade, in German 2, I stumbled across a book of poetry by a guy named Mariah Rilke. He also wrote poems in French, but a large portion, the majority of his work, was in German. Yeah, and it was a bilingual book, so the German was on one page and the English translation of that poem was on the other. And I'm in German too, right? So my German's not particularly good or professional by any means, but I opened this book just to, out of curiosity, see if I could understand it, and I started going through the poems very painstakingly, very slowly, looking up words I didn't know, kind of writing down weird grammar structures and going to my teacher later with him and being, "Herr Shepherd, what does this mean?" And then he would look at me and he went, "Where did you get this stuff?" And I went, "Rilke," and he goes, "I didn't read Rilke till college." So I was a German 2 student trying to go through these mystic kind of spiritual-y poems that this guy wrote, these very lyricist poems that Rilke wrote. And then I would compare what I understood to the English translation, and I determined I will master this language. I will master this language and be able to read these beautiful poems in their original form. And here I am today. Da-da-da! So I'm going to read you one of his most famous poems. You might have even heard of it. It's called The Panther in English and Der Panther in German. I'm going to give you the German first and then the English. So. Sein Blick ist vom Vorübergehn der Stäbe so müd geworden, dass nichts mehr hält. Ihm ist, als ob es 1000 Stäbe gäbe und hinter 1000 Stäben keine Welt. Der weiche Gang geschmeidig starker Schritte, der sich im allerkleinsten Kreise dreht, ist wie ein Tanz von Kraft eine Mitte, in der betäubt ein großer Wille steht. Nur manchmal schiebt der Vorhang der Pupille sich lautlos auf. Dann geht ein Bild hinein, geht durch der Glieder angespannte Stille und hört im Herzen auf zu sein. Here's the English. His gaze against the sweeping of the bars has grown so weary it can hold no more. To him there seem to be 1,000 bars, and back behind those 1,000 bars no world. The soft, the supple step and sturdy pace that in the smallest of all circles turns, moves like a dance of strength around a core, in which a mighty will is standing stunned. Only at times the pupil's curtain slides up soundlessly, an image enters then, goes through the tension stillness of the limbs, and in the heart ceases to be. One's a tad depressing. He has much happier poems, but essentially imagine a panther in a cage in a zoo somewhere, and it's not big enough for him, this powerful, sturdy animal. He's pacing in the smallest circles he can, the mighty strength and will that is in him has been stunned by being kept in this cage. He looks past the bars and he can't see the rest of the world anymore. He's so tired. Yeah, it's tad depressing. There are happier ones, though. Rilke did a lot of deep, depressing things. He's got an entire sonnet written about Orpheus. And he's got shorter things, like the poem Ich will ein Garten sein, I want to be a garden, where that's in his little selections of mehr zu feiern, to celebrate myself, essentially. And I just, man, I really like poetry. Man, I really like German poetry and German literature. I actually had a chance to talk to a second-generation Turkish-German author named Zehra Chirac. She's a wonderful lady. Her poems are all written in German, and they're just really great. Definitely go ahead and look her up. I'll put some videos and some links and things in the description. And actually, while I was in Maryland and Virginia visiting the United States the other week at my college, I had a chance to go with my professor and some other students to the Goethe Institute in Washington, D.C., to hear an Iraqi-German author, Abbas Khider, speak. And he read us some selections from his books, Der falsche Inder, the wrong Indian, or in the actual English version it's called The Village Indian, I don't know why, and Brief in die Auberginenrepublik, letter to the Eggplant Republic. And he created this just beautiful image using the German language. So that's actually eventually what I'd like to do my doctor work on, is literature from German authors with immigrant background. Because literature is culture, man, and when you cross cultures, you're creating a new generation, a new breed of literature, and you're showing the world something totally new. And I just think that's the coolest ever. So, there's my rant about literature. Thanks for sticking with me, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one. I know I will.